Good morning, day 285, coming to you from my deck. Oh, I slept in this morning, and I gave myself permission to, be follow, what the day brought in the schedule. And we have clouds here. So I saw a little peek of the effects of the sunrise through the clouds, but anyway, I'm just doing things a little bit differently today, and that's okay. I read 2 Corinthians chapter 8 this morning, which in my particular translation is titled A Call to Generous Giving. And the verse that stuck out to me was, you know the generous grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, though he was rich, yet for your sake he became poor, so that by his poverty he could make you rich. And this whole section of the letter is talking about giving. And I want to go conceptually a little bit bigger. And because they're specifically, I think, talking about money and tithing. But we can give a lot more than just money, and a lot of us need to. That is the journey. That's how we become rich spiritually, is in realizing we have all that we need within, and that we're looking to and clinging to things outside of us to satisfy that. And humans, and so I titled today, Be to Learn. And as I was thinking and meditating on this, the words learn to be, we use that all the time, that phrase, learn to be, blah, blah, blah. That's a phrase that we use a lot. But in God's kingdom and economy, and the way for us to grow healthier as humans, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, is backwards from the way we do it. So humans, in order for us to learn, we have to be, we have to do to learn. And we don't like it that way. We like to cling to things, get proof, evidence first, tiptoe in, and then we might do it. And that's not necessarily, sometimes we can get there, just like thinking about walking into the ocean and just acclimating yourself. And eventually you can get used to the coldness or the depth and learn. But the way to really exponentially learn is to just go for it, to just be, to be. And then you'll know, then you'll learn. You learn a lot faster, and you can get where you want to be a lot quicker by just kind of going for it. But that is not natural, because humans, we like our security. We like to sort of like test the waters, which is interesting. Paul actually uses that word test here. But that's a measurement term too. And that can put a lot of pressure on us. He's like, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm testing you. I'm like, and this will be a test of where you are in your spiritual journey. And I'm like, whoa, if I got that message, I'd be like, I don't know, humans naturally, like, who do you think you are, telling me what to do and testing me and telling me that what I do in this is evidence of my, internal world and my beliefs and, my faith and all of that. But he's not wrong. But it's like, we can push people in the other direction sometimes by that. But again, sitting with this and really realizing how humans are designed, how we are designed, and we kind of, as humans, we're so into ourselves. We kind of think that we're special, and maybe the rules don't apply to us that way. And so we're always making calculated risk and testing the waters to see if that'll really work for us, versus you just got to do it. And I have been kind of testing this on myself this year, and I've talked about it off and on here. One of my particular things that I've held on to and then therefore caused myself to actually never have is a feeling of being at home, being from somewhere. And I grew up moving like every year in a new school every year. And that messed with my emotions and my mental state quite a bit. And I had to do a lot of things to learn how to kind of survive and protect myself, or I thought I did. And now that and then there were like consequences and side effects of just sort of some automatic behavior that I had as a result in my adult years that then led to me, finally a few years going, what is going on here? Let's wake up here and push the pause button and really do start doing some deep inner work so that I could get off of that hamster wheel of and even dragging people along with me on my, on my search for a home. And I've got a husband that loves me very much and kids that have been patient with me in this process. But I had to learn that in order to be at home, I had to go within. I had to be at home. I had to learn to be at home with myself and learn that I can be at home anywhere. By looking for it outside, I was keeping myself homeless, if you will. It's like humans, when we have something in our psyche and our emotions that is stuck, there's a lot of psychology out there. There's a wonderful book by a super, super smart man, and his is not the only one, but there's one that I think a lot of people have heard of, and it gives a label to this concept is the body keeps the score. And not just the body, but also the brain. Like I had learned, I had believed a story that home looked a certain way. I had this ideal of what it was and a feeling that I would have, and I would just know it when I got there. And of course, every time I went there, no place can do that for you. But I didn't know that. So I kept looking for it and kept kind of chasing it. I was on that cycle. And what happens when you do that, and even what my nervous system learned to do was to, as humans, we're always looking for like a redo. We're trying to do it over. And we don't even know that when we're in it. We're trying to capture something that's elusive, that maybe our immature brain thought, that fit in this belief system. And then our nervous system gets on board, and then now you've got this nervous energy that kind of compels you to do things that you're like, that Paul even talks about, like, why do I do the things I do not even want to do? And it can even become a habitual pattern, not just in our daily lives, but even a pattern in our broader lives. And when I have been going deeper and deeper with this and learning to be at home, so that and we're planning on making a move one more time at least, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be that person that then gets there and is like, oh, this isn't perfect, I gotta go over here now. And to stop that cycle in me. So I've had to really sit with a lot of this uncomfortableness in my body and ask it what it's trying to tell me. And we are often looking for do-overs, like to get it right. So this is my particular thing. Some of us have this relationship with money. Some of us have this relationship with maybe relationships. If you can't quite, if a relationship in your life didn't go well, whether sometimes it's a mother, father, sister, like important people in our lives. And then we're drawn to the things that we're like, why am I drawn to that? I don't even want that. And yet we're drawn to it because we want to go back and redo and fix it and maybe get it right this time. Hence, we kind of create hamster wheel situations for ourselves. Now, I know I'm taking Paul's words here and blowing up into a big conceptual, but that's when people hold on to their money for their security or whatever it is, reflecting an internal state of being, and we're afraid, we're holding on to it out of fear that if I let this go, what's going to happen to me? And that's what I had to kind of park myself intentionally, and it's been really uncomfortable at times to literally park myself and accept and really try to work on being at home, because my nervous system had literally learned that being at home was being on the move. I know it's a paradox. We are walking paradoxes. But when you can see that about yourself, and Jesus had to become a paradox, even though he didn't need to be, so that we could see this, that we could become rich. We could realize that we have everything that we need spiritually. We just have to open our hands and stop looking outside for it and go inside and realize that we have all that we need, and that we're already rich. And whatever it is that you're trying to hold on to externally is mirroring something to you to go inside to be, so that you can learn. And that's, I'm walking this out, and I'm learning as I'm being. I'm deciding to be, and I'm learning, oh, okay. And through that process, I have actually seen a larger pattern at work. I'm so focused as the habit person and the mindset person to look at the day to day, like what am I doing day to day, that I was missing a larger pattern in my life. It was right, like you can't see the forest for the trees. It was right in front of me the whole time. And I'm sharing this with you, just hoping to get you to maybe see these patterns in your life, to look even at a larger scale. Now, I told you that we moved every year. And so there was a new school year. Well, doesn't school happen on a pattern a yearly? And I was noticing that there was a cyclical, literally a pattern that was happening on an annual basis for me that would come up right about that, late spring, early summer, fall, that time of the year, because my parents, even though we did move a lot, they were conscientious enough of our well-being to not constantly pull us out of school. They would wait until the summer, do the move, and then we could start a new year. Isn't that interesting? Like, my body literally was keeping the score, and I was missing it. And then now that I know, I can be with it. I can be, because I have to learn to be a different way and not follow those impulses to learn that, oh, I don't have to look. And even when I have lived in this area now for a dozen years, and that's longer than I've been anywhere. But even within that, I've moved to 4 different houses. But I didn't make my kids, my kids have been in the same school the whole time. But the other thing that I did, because my body was looking for a big change, I was buying cars. And it would happen every year. I would start to go, oh, is it making a funny noise? Like, I don't know. And then I would start looking. It was a big research project. It would keep me busy, distract me. Like, my body literally was telling my brain, you need to do something now. It's that time of the year. It's time to have a big change. Because I had grown accustomed to feeling at home inside of a change. We are fascinating creatures, y'all. And now I don't even have a car. I live in a home that I know that is not my permanent home, but I'm learning to be. I'm being to learn. I'm being to learn. And I'm beginning to learn by being. And I'm like, and calm, slowly, my nervous system, because I'm giving it new experiences. I'm not giving into those compulsions to throw myself into a research or find a big change. And then I'm bringing all that energy back to myself I'm becoming rich in my spirit and who God designed me to be versus scattering it in these situations out there to sort of redo, and learning that they were what they needed to be. They kept showing up, trying to teach me a lesson to go in, and I didn't know that. When we don't know this about how humans work, God is constantly giving us an invitation to go in, but our compulsion is to go out. And that is learning how to be at home as a human, to bring Christ in, to realize he's all that you need, and that you can be rich no matter what. We've got breath in our lungs, and richness isn't just a state of like finance or home or where you live, who's in your life. It's learning to, no, being to learn. The other thing that I say a lot is it's easier said than done. And I'm trying to flip the script on that too. What if done was easier than said? What if you just did it? So I'm trying to go into God's economy and God's kingdom and bring heaven here on earth as it is in heaven, here now. We don't have to wait. The eternal now. Think about that. What do we always have? What's eternal? Now. God's ways are not our ways. And when we can park ourselves, be still, and know that I am, you can be rich no matter what's going on, even in your suffering, and be comforted. Just like this book started out with the idea of comfort and going to God in prayer versus compulsively looking outside of us to satisfy what can only be satisfied by the inside out. Sometimes I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth. I really do think it's God and just spending this time with God and Him working in and through me. I'm not very smart, y'all. I just have a brain, I think, that's open, that I've allowed to be open because I want so desperately to have peace internally that I'm willing to just lay it all out there. All right. Have a great day. Rise and shine, even if you're here in the bluegrass locally and it looks like we're going to get rain today, or at least some cloud cover, and we're going to enjoy the beauty of that. So rise and shine, my friends. 2 Corinthians chapter 8. Let go of whatever it is that you're trying to hold on to that you need outside. That's what he's asking us to do. And realize that you've got everything you need internally. Come back home to yourselves. All right.